Let's do string compression problem again, and I see it's a very popular problem. I'm seeing a lot of hits on that, so I thought let's do that in C++. The earlier solution was Python based, which turned out to be quite popular. So let's do that in C++ with just maybe like couple of STL library functions and just pretty much rest of the algorithm is same, which can be like one-to-one translated from Python to C++. But basically in C++, let's so how do we start this problem? We have to find, we know already the problem. I don't want to repeat the problem, which is for each for you're given an array of characters and some of them may be repeating, and you need to compress, you need to return a, you need to compress it in such a way that instead of saying, for example, here a three times, a though twice and b twice, c thrice, you say a2 b2 c3. And if it is only once, like then you say a and then you say b12, something like that. Like for example, if you look at case 2, here you just say a. So case 3, for example, here it says a and then you have b repeated 12 times, so you got to turn it into a and then b, and then however many times b is repeated, so that is 12. So let's do that. Let's not waste much time. Int I equal to so we need an index, we need a index to walk the array. That's I is your original index that we'll be using to walk the array. And or you could also think of I as like the reading index. And index, let's have another variable. This is a writing index. So index position of this variable index tells you where to write into the cars. Remember, because we have to do it in place, we cannot return a separate array. So let's start, say while I less than cars dot, now we can call dot size member method of the um, index. So while I less than cars dot size, how do we start here? So here we need a now you know you need a repeating index to see if the current character repeats. So we got to have an index for that, right? So int j equal to 0, and so let's start, let's do that logic. So while j while j is less than, the same logic, obviously you don't want to go to the end of the array even for j, even though j, oh actually you know what, j starts with I, int j equal to 0, but then j has to start with wherever I is right now, right? Int I equal to so j equal to I. Actually we got to have two variables. So one is the count, which will see how many times this character is repeated. So let's call it 0. Now here, before we start our repeating loop to see if this character is repeated, we got to have j equal to I. So j equal to I, j starts with the current value of I. Then while j less than cars dot size, pretty standard, and cars I equal to cars j. So where is our, yeah, here we go. So cars j equal to cars I, right? So what do we do here? We keep incrementing j plus plus, that's all. So very simple while loop. Now after we come out of this while loop, we say cnt. Oh, before we do that, we got to at least store where one character for the character that we are working on in the string, or where we are. So we have to say, now we use our writing index first time. So we say cars index equal to chars I, wherever the I is now pointing, and then you say I plus plus. Should we do I plus plus? No, that's not I plus plus. Now we got to say if count is greater than 1. when we walked, we used our repeating index j. So if count greater than 1, that means we know that the character was repeated. Now what do we need to do here in this case? We need to say if count is greater than 1, then cnt equal to, oh, before count we can do that, we got to have cnt equal to, so cnt equal to j minus I is the count of the repeating count. Now if cnt greater than 1, if there is not one, if cnt is just 1, we are okay because we have written that character already. Now if count is greater than 1, we need to write the count as like if it is only repeated like just 6-7 times, you got only one, the count has only one digit, then we have to write it 1. But if count has 2 digits, then we need to write them as 2 separate cars. So if count greater than 1, then here we will use our C++ standard library functions, which will make our job easy. So we just say toString. So we'll turn count into a string basically. That's all this is doing. And now again we have a for loop where we say auto const c reference c colon. Now we have to walk s that we just created out of the digit, and what do? We just write the chars index. Oh, index, I think we probably have to update the index at this point, don't you think so? Or we could have done index plus plus. I think that might be better rather than doing it outside the, so we can use C and C++. So chars index plus plus equal to C, and we have our index updated while C is being written into that. Now when we come out of this here, what do we need to do? We need to set I2 equal to j, because remember j has already, so that's where we are in the original, our input chars vector. So let's see this one. Oh, before we return, we can't simply just try it now. So after the while loop is done, what do we need to do? Index. Okay, now index plus plus, is that a problem? You got to think that is index plus plus a problem. If it is a problem, you got to see that because what I'm thinking is if index you're incrementing after, so use the current value of index and the increment index. Now I have a feeling as if index might be one off by 1. So let's see if that is a problem. So hopefully that's not a problem. So let's see, what do you guys think? That do we have to take the index and then, for example, when we write it first time around, chars index equal to this index plus plus outside, and but if we do chars index equal to str and then actually do it not at the same time, but in any case, let's just I think we are done. This is our whole solution. Only thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we have resize the original input array. So chars dot resize by index and return index, and after that we can try to run our test cases. So let's see. So let's run test case if it works. We have a compiler error. So while I less than car, where is it? Why I less than cars? Okay, that's easy to fix. Let's see, run now. There you go, it's accepted. So basically it's working, and we need to see if we can submit it and it still works. and there you go, it's still accepted. So that was your C++ solution for string compression or LeetCode 443. But I think if you want to recap, just for a change, before I sign off, let me just recap all the points here which are important. Is pretty much same as the Python solution, except that we are using toString, which is a which str library gives us, and a member function or resize on the cars vector to basically resize. Otherwise, if you see, the algorithm is same. You got to have start your having your original index, reading index, then a writing index, then you start walking on the reading index, and inside of that start walking or the while loop, you got to have that repeating in index j, repeating count j. So now you start with j, and inside you put a, so once you have, then to see how many times this character is repeated, you use j. So and then you use j, the loop based on j, and making sure that if characters are the same, as character j is the same as character I. Once that is done, you have your count variable, but before you do that, you write at least one character in the string, that is index plus plus cars I cnt equal to j minus I. And so I was a little bit confused over here saying should we do index, but it doesn't matter, it's the same thing, because see, if you're starting with 0 and after that you're incrementing by 1, so you write at 0 and then, but how many characters are there, that's what takes care of this incrementing. Okay, so cars index, then you write, and then you so count equal to j minus I. If count is greater than 1, if count is equal to 1, you're done. You don't have to go and do this part from line 16 to line 20. If it is greater than 1, you use toString method to convert it into a string, probably your auto. We don't even care what is the variable type, just say auto. That's what I like about C++. So for auto const reference C, now you walk that string, and every time you put that digit character, which is now actually a char, not integer, which would have been in this case cnt, you put it into the your input array or slash output array, whatever you want to call it. And then in the end, don't forget to do a cars.resize index and return index. That's your writing. Remember, that was your writing variable, the where you write into the the given vector. So that's it, folks. I hope it was useful, and I wish you guys all the best. Bye bye. See you.